Identifying, removing, refitting and upgrading the tail lamps on a Skoda Fabia Mark 1 99 to 2007. This is the hatchback model, which differs from the combi and sedan both in gaining access and in the lamp holder. It is also worth noting that the Mark 1 facelift model from late 2004 has a slightly different rear lens design as shown here on the right, but is essentially the same fitment. Open the hatchback and pull away the felt liner behind the rear light unit. It should release downwards from the clips holding it to the rear speaker housing. Then if we take a look inside, you need to locate the two top white tags of the lamp holder on the back of the unit, just here. Squeeze those together slightly and it will release like so, and then you just got to waggle the lamp bulbs out gently without forcing them as the small catch at the bottom releases, and then it will just gently come out. Taking a look at the lamps in the holder, we have from top to bottom, or left to right in this case. First is the brake light, which is a 12 volt P21W bayonet cap BA15S. Then the indicator direction lamp, which is a 12 volt PY21W bayonet cap BAU15S. Then we have the reversing light, which is the same as the brake light. And finally the bottom twin filament lamp, which is a P21/4W bayonet cap BAZ15D driving fog lamp. One thing to note here with these dual filament lamps is they're usually more common to use as a driving and brake light, but not in the case of the Fabia, having a slightly lower powered version used for the fog lamps. To take out the brake lamp on this car, wait until the lamps are cool and then simply push on the glass bulb slightly, which is held in tension by a sprung bottom connector, and turn it anti-clockwise to unhook these small protruding side pins, and then pull back, releasing it from the holder. On these P21W brake and reversing lamps, the pins are horizontally opposed to each other, and it doesn't matter which way around it is when you put it back in. Slide either pin into the slot just above the loop hook in about the 10:12 position, and then turn clockwise until the pin seats nicely into the loop. The indicator lamps remove in the same way and are coated in an amber film, as the lens covers are clear and not amber themselves. These can flake or fade over time and are often overlooked, so make sure they're a good deep colour, as they can fail an MOT if they're not. The pins on these PY21W lamps are slightly different, not being horizontally opposed, but are set at a slightly acute angle, as you can see, and need to align to match the holder with the acute side facing towards the bottom. The reversing lamp is the same as the brake light. And finally the P21/4W twin filament driving fog lamp releases in the same way by pushing down and turning to the left. Has two contacts on the base, and the pins that are not only slightly acute, but one is higher than the other on the lamp shroud. And you want to put the higher pin that aligns with the bottom of the holder, with a little slot that's just right at the bottom. Don't try and force these in, they should go in fairly easy, as long as you got the right bulb or lamp in the right socket. So many people trying to jam these in a desperate quick attempt to get them working, which only serves to gnarl all the holder up and makes it even more difficult when you fit in the right lamps. can of course take the connector off if you feel it makes it a little bit easier. It just prises off with a screwdriver. Wipe any greasy finger marks off with a clean cloth or paper towel. And when you're happy with all the lamps in place, refit the bulbs themselves into the holes by jiggling it about a little bit, and place the bottom catch on top of the light unit at the bottom. It's not that easy to see, but there's a little slot that the catch goes in on the light unit. Then push each clip into place at the top. They should give quite an audible click. All you've got to do is push the felt back into place. And before I do that, there's something to note here, is that there is a small space just above the wheel arch that can be utilised to keep, in my case, a handy small box of spare lamps and fuses, which is neatly hidden and does protrude into the boot space. And push the little clips up against the speaker housing, and away you go. You can of course upgrade all these lamps with LED type lamps. I'm going to upgrade the reversing light because it's a bit dim when you're reversing, and a brighter light would help prevent me running my cats and my Auntie Mildred over. The extra length of the LED didn't seem to be a problem when fitting it, and when lit used less power, were about the same in temperature, and what I mean by that is the heat that they produced, but the main advantage is that they're much brighter. Hopefully you can see that in the following images. The LED on the left here is a much clearer whiter light than the original Filament OEM bulb on the right, and shows just how much of a marked contrast these two lamps are. Standard OEM lights, LED lights, standard OEMs, LEDs, and here they are together. And here's what they look like against some trees. Standard lights, LED lights, standard, LEDs, and together I think there's quite a marked difference there, and I'm quite happy with these. Should make things a little bit safer when I'm reversing. At least my Auntie Mildred would be happy. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, I really do appreciate that. And if you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video.